What is up, everyone, and welcome to episode 10 of Gamer Disclaimer with Mag and Wade. Of course, I am Mag, and this handsome gentleman beside me is Wade. Wade, how the heck are you, buddy, pal?
Double digi episode. I can't believe it. Suck it, video game music review show.
That's right.
We're crushing you in numbers.
Yep.
You will be dwarfed. We are the superior podcast show thing.
That's right. Absolutely. Dunk on that other show. It's terrible. Just kidding. No.
I don't know. I mean, there are some good episodes. I mean, I'm probably due for a rewatch, to be perfectly honest. I should go back.
Yeah.
I could
maybe.
pick out some of my. I have high praise for, well, any episode that I'm in, of course. Those were good ones. And then I feel like I owe a rewatch to the Dark Souls and basically the FromSoft episode, because it was music and also like a lore dump into why the music was significant. I feel like that had a very cohesive whole of it was the whole package. You know what I mean? Everything really came together.
Treehouse guys are awesome in filming that episode. So, yeah. Well, you're good. Everything's good.
Yeah, man. Peachy Keen, Jelly Bean.
Cool. Yeah, things are good on my end as well. Baby is going to be arriving 12 days as of recording day, which is insane. But don't worry, we are going to have episodes continuing on Wednesdays through baby chaos that's happening at my house. So we're pumped for that. It's going to be great.
That's the baby's name? Chaos? You decided?
Yep, we did.
Little Sonic homage?
Little Chaos. Yep, that's it. So, yep, that's it. But, yeah. So, Wade, let's dive into what games you've been playing this week.
Well, I think we can start with what we've been playing, right? Because that was this week that we played some Master Chief Collection together.
We did. Yes, we did. That was fun.
Give me the description of where you had a whole basement full of excellent Halo players. Were you guys pounding Mountain Dews and snacking on Doritos to be the very best Halo players you could be?
I will say we had more Halo playing dudes in our first Halo party. But we had 8 of us that were at my house, and we were eating Doritos, but other adult beverages were consumed, and water, of course. No Code Red this time, because I wanted to go to sleep at a decent time. But yeah, we had a fun time, and then rather than playing it on original Xboxes, we did use the Master Chief Collection, because we had one of our people couldn't come because his daughter was sick, and he didn't want to come over if he had a sick kid, since we're going to be having a kid soon. But then that opened the door to you being able to play with us, which was really fun. So played Master Chief Collection, played a lot of Halo 2, some Halo 1, and had a good time with that. So that is part of what I played this week. But tell us what else you played this week, or tell us about your experience getting back into Halo as you played this week.
I don't know the last time that I played the Master Chief Collection, but I think that I set up my controller configuration so that it was like the same across all the games, maybe, or something. I don't know. But like what I assumed should have been the X button was actually like right bumper for me for some things. I don't know. It does a good job of giving you prompts on the screen to let you know what's what. I know that because Halo, the early Halo games, had grenades binded to the left trigger, where you're accustomed to that being your aim down sights. I'm absolutely certain that I did not kill myself with grenades, but I definitely killed some teammates with grenades. Got that excellent betrayal that came over the comms as soon as it happened.
Yeah, we had issues. It was like X was flashlight. It's like, what? So, yeah, we had to like bind a bunch of different stuff, but we eventually got it figured out. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. Did you play anything else this week, or?
I think it was just Elden Ring.
Man, been on that grind, huh? 2 weeks?
Well, it's just what, I don't know. I feel like I'm taking far longer with this game than everybody else that I like. Maybe when I started going around this again, somebody who had like never played Elden Ring before, who also doesn't have a full-time job and other commitments in their life, was like, I'm gonna get the platinum in Elden Ring in 1 week or something like that. So I feel like my pace is a little slower than it should be, but I did just bust out maximum cheese to defeat the Mimic in the game. From the name Mimic, what would you expect this enemy does, Mag?
Probably mimics you.
Exactly. So as soon as you enter the boss room, a clone of you is created, and you have to defeat the strongest enemy yourself. But if you unequip all of your weapons and take off all of your armor before you go into the room, well, now there's this half-naked guy that's just trying to punch me as I equip my sword and take them out in 6 swings.
There you go. Hey, if it's legal, you may as well take advantage of the loophole.
It's gotta be done. And
Yeah.
I believe I'm very in the near future I'm gonna be able to get the summon, which allows me to like make a copy of myself so I can double mint twin, go after some bosses, just get after it. It's gonna be fantastic.
Cool. Sounds like a complicated game, but a fun one.
Well, you can summon things.
Summoned. There you go.
That's how it works, man. Normally, I have like a pack of dogs that I summon. You get those very early on. They've been pretty good for me. The internet seems to love. There's a jellyfish that you can summon. I don't know if there's some connection to SpongeBob within that. I think SpongeBob likes jellyfish, right?
Yeah.
Really showing my age here on the memes and whatnot.
Oh, the memes, the
But yes,
old guy memes.
I'm still clodding my way through Elden Ring and having a grand old time with it.
Cool.
What did you play this week that wasn't Halo the Master Chief Collection?
Yep. So I've progressed a little bit further in Mega Man X. I picked up Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, via your recommendation for the Super Nintendo, and played a little bit of that. And I'm playing League, still on the League grind. Playing it, trying to get some League games in before baby comes, because that is a 40-minute time commitment, and when you have a kiddo that is fully dependent on you 24/7, your windows are a little bit smaller. So, and I've been playing a little bit of Rocket League with some of my friends, which has been fun getting back into it. I've noticed the more I've played with them, definitely like the more the skills are coming back. So that's been kind of fun to do. So yeah, that's what I've been playing. So you and I played a lot of Rocket League together when it first came out. So good times.
When nobody knows how to play a game, that is when the game is the most fun.
Yep.
But I feel like as time has progressed, that window where nobody knows exactly what is good has just gotten narrower and narrower.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So let's dive into the topic for this week. So kind of I thought it'd be a fun little topic for our 10th episode.
Double digis.
Double digis, yes. So we're going to talk about a little bit about our gaming history as individuals, and then I kind of the main topic then leading from that is, I'm 33, Wade's older than me, and
number larger than 33.
yeah,
correct.
but we're adults, we've played video games for a long time and are continuing to play video games on a regular basis, and so we just thought it'd be fun to talk about what we love about games, why we're still playing them to this day, and just some of that stuff. And so I have a lot of friends that played a lot of video games in high school and college and then quit playing, but now they have kiddos and their kids love video games, and now they're kind of getting back into it. And I don't think either of us have ever had a lapse where we were not playing games. And so why do we love them? Why do we do this show talking about video games? So we will dive into that a little bit. So Wade, do you want to go first for the history of Wade gaming, or do you want me to go first?
I'll set the tone.
Okay.
I'll go first.
Sounds good.
All
Tell
right,
us.
So, Wade's story time. To the best of my knowledge, and because I am an undetermined age that is more than 33 years old, I might not have the best memory about these things anymore. But I believe that my first video game console was a Game Boy Pocket and The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. That was just what I had really wanted to play. I think that my earlier exposure to video games was playing an original NES system at cousin Chewie's house. You remember Chewie from back in the day. So they had a Nintendo and Super Mario Brothers 3 and, you know, the original Mario Brothers on there. Like, we had a great time playing all of those things. Shortly after I had gotten that Game Boy Pocket, I picked up a Nintendo Entertainment System at a church rummage sale, I think for $50. I have since, all of the things that I'm describing right now, I do not have anymore, but I have since gotten back because that wasn't necessarily a lapse in gaming, but it certainly was me thinking that I need to sell these to buy the new hotness, as was tradition at the time, I suppose. And yeah, like I've always really enjoyed playing video games, be it like if I was to just go down a list of like excellent gaming memories, not like a top 5 or whatever it is, like I don't know how many of those things there would be, like I have excellent memories of playing Super Smash Brothers for the Nintendo 64, and it was me, my brother, and we had 3 cousins. So that's one pair of hands too many to be playing Super Smash Brothers, and it was just loser out every time. So if you were the one that lost in the match that was playing, you gave up your controller, and the other person got to sub in, and we would just play for hours and hours and hours and hours. There was another very similar situation where we were playing Halo 3 split screen, where it was the 3 of us. I don't remember which 3 of the 5 people that I described before that were playing. And we were like, all right, well, we're just going to play matchmaking in Team Slayer until we lose. Okay. And we, you know, played for 3 hours probably. It just didn't happen until we finally got paired with some other teammate that cost the game for us. We lost because of that. So, because this was a thing that you could do back in the Xbox 360 days, I reported this person, said that we were going to avoid them, we never want to play with them again, and reported them for lack of skill. This is a very important reason to report somebody. It's like, I don't even know if their controller was plugged in or they know how to play the game. Now, we were playing online using my cousin's Xbox Live profile. So, when I got back home, I sent this guy a friend request, and then I was just going to go and report him for lacking skill again from my profile, because I felt like I need to warn the world. I don't want anybody else to have to go through this again. You know what I mean?
What a jerk.
But I quickly discovered that you needed to play a game with somebody in order to leave a review of them. So, because I just sent this guy a message and he accepted my friend request, I kept hitting him up and I was like, hey, let's play Halo, you know, jump in, let's play a game. And then one day when he finally did accept, I immediately unfriended him and reported him for lack skill and then moved on with my life. Apparently I was kind of bitter about that situation. We could have kept playing that day for hours upon hours, but he cost us the victory, and therefore we had to stop. I feel like this is derailed a bit from maybe the spirit of this, but I feel like I've been sitting on that story for a very long time, and for the 10th Double Digi episode, I needed to get it out into the world.
Get it off your chest.
Yeah. Other excellent like gaming memories that I have had, which is why I still to this day really want gaming to be a part of my life. I can remember, you know, playing 8-on-8 original Xbox's Halo, even before Halo 2, where we had System Link hooked up, and I would trudge out my, you know, 19-inch CRT TV and the Xbox, pack it up and take it over to somebody's house to the basement and set it up on a coffee table and just play until, you know, well beyond midnight, which for individuals who are more than 33 years old, midnight sometimes is a hard stop on evenings. Nothing good happens after 2 a.m. except for old, you know, Halo games playing until the sun came up. So I will stew on it and see if I can come up with anything else, but I'll throw it back to you to opine on your gaming history, Mag. What you got?
Yeah, so thanks for sharing all that, and funny story, right, about your reported buddy, not buddy, but yeah. So um, I got my Sega Genesis when I was 4.5, but I had played Sonic games before that. Obviously, Sonic has a pretty big influence in my life. I have him tattooed on my body. And the reason I loved Sonic so much is because he was fast. And I was obsessed with, running and just being fast and always like just speed in general when I was young. And so I really took a liking to Sonic. And of course, I got my Sega Genesis, my first game. I got Sonic Spinball. My sister got Pac-Man 2, New Adventure. Two terrible games, but we were jacked. Eventually, I got Sonic 2 and all the other ones. And yeah, so played a lot of Sega. Really enjoyed that. Then progressed on to a Nintendo 64. First game I got with that was Mario Golf. My dad and I played a lot of Mario Golf when we first got it, and now he is not as good as I am at the game, obviously, but at the time, we had a really good time with it. And so got the N64, really enjoyed that, played the heck out of a lot of games on that console. And then progressed on to a GameCube and an Xbox. And so got the GameCube, got Super Smash Bros. Melee, and played the heck out of that game. And then the Xbox, of course, Halo 2, probably my favorite, one of my favorite games ever, just playing a lot of online multiplayer. And then I remember a lot of memories of, I was in a team called Target MKS, so shout out to my Target MKS brothers. We never competed in any actual tournaments, but we had shirts made. It was Mink, Magstead. Oh, my camera there we go. Mink, Magstead, Kaiser, and Smith. It was the four of us, and we all had the Target logo in different colors. Mine was yellow. And so we played a lot of Halo 3 on the Crackdown beta, if you remember that. Or the Halo 3 beta on Crackdown, which was hilarious, and memories of Gears of War on 360, and just playing those games. But and then of course with Wii Sports, and played a lot of Super Smash Bros. Brawl, games that really stood out. But kind of always had video game systems, so rather than going into every single system and things like that, I actually still own every original system that I had. I never sold any of them other than the PS3 to get a Wii U. But yeah, so I still have all my OG consoles just right over here, which is exciting. Is cool. Have all the original hardware and everything for them, which is really fun and cool. But yeah, so I would just say some of my other favorite memories. In college, my friends and I 100%ed Super Mario Sunshine. We got every Shrine Sprite, so that was really cool and a lot of fun. Another really fun memory was I think I might have told it on the show before, but we played Mega Man on the state tennis trip and froze the console and then had to beat it through again. And I didn't even play the game. I was just a part of it, watching and spectating, but it was really exciting. And so, yeah, just a lot of fun gaming memories, but I would say that gaming has always been a part of my life. I've always had a game system, always been playing games. And so just like I said, thought it'd be fun to kind of go on history of like, oh yeah, so like this is kind of where it started, and for me, like I said, it was with the Genesis, and then, went from Sega to Nintendo, and then eventually got like all the systems, like for like all three of them not at the same time, but like throughout. And so, yeah, but I'd say my favorite systems, of course, the Genesis I loved, and I really enjoyed the GameCube a lot. I still come back to it pretty often and play some games in that. So, yeah, so that's a little bit of a background, at least for myself, in terms of gaming things. But transitioning into, the guts of the episode and the primary topic, why do we still collect and play video games to this day? And do we, I foresee, at least for myself, playing forever till I can't, and I'm sure you probably feel the same way, Wade. But I think we could go back and forth. I don't have like, this is your point, then this is my point, but I just have a few points that maybe I'll just like, I'll say it and then you can talk about it, or you can say something, and then we can just discuss it. We'll just go that route and ping pong it. But yeah, they've heard my voice for a while. So Wade, tell us one reason or one of the reasons why you still play and collect games to this day.
Well, I feel like it's good to have a hobby of some kind. I will gladly proclaim to people that I am quite boring. Both the wife and I will tout this in many situations. But, I mean, it is good to have hobbies. One thing for me, as far as collecting games right now, which is really nice, and sometimes instead of collecting games, I wish that I was playing games, but I work from home at the desk that's directly behind me. So occasionally going on like the Facebook Marketplace and seeing that somebody is selling a lot of games that I haven't seen before or haven't played in a long time is a good excuse for me to just get out of the house and go and, see what's going on. Sadly, it's not resulted in, I mean, I don't even know if that's the end goal of those things, to be, friends with random people that you make on the Facebook Marketplace. But usually it's a good 90 seconds of conversation with them about, the games. And it's like, oh, yeah, I'm just looking to get rid of them, played a lot of them before and those kind of things. Or I picked up a PS3 from somebody one time, and I mean, the guy was probably more awkward than I am, because the first words out of his mouth once he stepped out of his house was, "What's up with that Deadpool game?" And I'm like trying to put two and two together as to why he would open the conversation asking me about the Deadpool game. But then I realized that I, on my profile, was selling a copy of Deadpool for the 360. So I got to go into explaining to him why it has the value that it does, and it's the same reason that they always have. It's that there weren't that many copies of it printed or sold, and it got delisted from digital storefronts. So that's why the physical copies are kind of a little bit higher up there in value. So that is one reason why, though I do have a fairly decent selection of digital games on the Xbox, and I'm slowly working on building a nice Steam library, I do tend to favor more towards physical games, just because, I don't know, it's a nice collection to have, something to look on the wall. The other day I had the bug guy, not the exterminator, pest control, I guess, came through and sprayed the inside of the house, and he was like, "Oh man, that's a cool collection of games you got over there." I'm like, "Oh, thanks guy, that's very nice."
The bug guy. So you heard it. You heard it. Wade does this to impress the bug guy, though. Yeah, it's funny. Like, I was just when I bought the Super Nintendo games, there's a guy who's now saved 3 games for me that's in Johnson City, which is about an hour from where I'm at. And yeah, it's been cool to have conversations with him and other game store people just about games. So yeah, I would say I'm more recently into the collecting portion of it. But yeah, it's, the conversations are cool to just talk about people who like the same things you do, which is why we have this show. That's what we do. One of the reasons I love gaming, I've always felt the need to prove myself against other people and pit my skills against the skills of others. And so, as a former track athlete and a person who's hyperly competitive in general, gaming helps, scratch that itch for me big time. Like, most of the games that I spend my time playing now are competitive games in the ranked playlists. I'm not a solo gamer hardly at all. And so, like, League of Legends and Marvel Rivals and Fortnite and things, it's like, I love winning. I think back to, we just play Smash Bros. Brawl. I was like, I have to be the best player at this game. Mario Kart, I want to win it, And so I've always really been a competitive person, and I think that for sure, like, one of the things that keeps bringing me back to gaming for sure is that it scratches my competitive itch and gives me opportunity to experience competition and put my skills to the test, against other people, similar ranks or higher ranks, and so I really enjoy that aspect of gaming for sure.
Keep it rolling, Mag. What else you got?
Yeah, so, excuse me. Second thing is I love the social aspect of gaming. I am not much of a solo gamer, like I just said, and so a lot of times I end up playing games that my friends are playing, or it is a way for friends and I to connect. I have found many times it's like if there's a friend that I have not been in touch with or in contact with for a while that I would like to maybe reconnect with. If I know they're a gamer, a lot of times would say, "Hey, what's a common ground game that we can play? And we can play together." And so and then I have a group of friends that I play, League with. I have a group of friends that I play like Fortnite and Rocket League with, and then of course with the streaming as well. You get to meet different people, and you get to have Wade backseat you through Mega Man and things. But it's just a way, at least for me, that I have been able to connect and stay connected with friends. And instead of going out to in high school, like instead of going out and like drinking every night, like we would just sit at home and play video games, and I really valued like that time together, the couch co-op and now the online co-op, and that whole portion of gaming in general. So I would say my number two big reason is socialization and just a way to connect with friends is why I love gaming.
How earlier in the episode did I not mention Team Awesome?
Yeah,
What's
I
wrong
know,
with me?
right? I was wondering about that. I should have
Yeah,
asked
I don't
you.
know. I just completely spaced it over here. We also had merch. We had T-shirts, and we would just roll through. I mean, it was primarily the Halo games. I think is where we spent most of our time. But yeah, that was great. Much fun in the social aspect. I did want to say that social element can also go into single player games. I think that I mentioned to you before that like Duke and I were both playing Nine Souls kind of concurrently,
Yeah.
and I was creeping to see what his progress was. I remember at one point in time, I got on a phone call with a friend of mine in Washington, and we both fired up Mega Man X at the exact same time, and we both independently on that call played through it together to the end, which was certainly a unique experience that we had. If it was a race, I did win. That's also, getting scratching that competitive element that you like so much in those things.
Yeah. All right, I just gave two in a row. Do you have another one, Wade, or another reason why you love games?
Well, dry. I'm gonna bounce off of whatever you've got, bud.
Okay. Yeah, so I can say that for me, it's not so much about the compelling narratives, but I know for a lot of people, like I don't read books, and so like I'm just not like a story driven person in general. But I know for a lot of people, like the storylines of games can be really like enriching, or it's like, oh, I like have to keep playing this game because I want to see what happens in this story or in this narrative or with these characters. And I've had a few games that have kind of like captured that for me. Like Kingdom Hearts was one of them, but then that storyline got way too confusing. And I talked about on the previous episode, like I really enjoyed Custom Robo. Not that it was like this insane story by any means, but it is a way of storytelling, and I think that is a cool thing for some people. And like I said, for me, it's not as big of a deal, but yeah, I don't know. For some people, it's like a big deal, and so it kind of scratches that itch for them as well.
This might splinter off into three different topics, but I'll try and focus it down into one with these things. I like video games for the reasons that you described as well, because video games are art. It is a piece of art that was created. Video games are interesting in that, unlike television, which or television or movies or even music, where these things happen to you, you need to be providing some kind of input for the video game to keep video gaming, if that's how it works out. And that's why I think a lot of games these days, maybe we've talked about this in some of our previous episodes as well, like they'll have an easy mode or a story mode because they want to make sure that people can appreciate all of the things that they've made and worked on. However, if the intention of the video game is, I mean, we bring up Celeste a lot with these kind of things, where an important element of Celeste is the challenge. The character in the game is overcoming a challenge, therefore, you as the player also need to overcome a challenge to continue to see the progress and see what other conversations need to happen with those Celeste characters at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And piggybacking off that, I love the music in video games. Like I've made a show about it, and I've always been a huge fan of, just the music in games because it is art as well in terms of, some of the coolest songs I've ever heard in my life have come from video games.
Video games also can take elements from movies and television. Like, I was always impressed with Gears of War, how when something extremely cinematic was about to happen, you'd get a prompt on the screen and it's like, hey, you don't have to, but if you hold Y, we're going to point the camera at something real cool that you want to see.
Yeah.
And there are other times where I feel like, I don't know, depending on your level of skill as a gamer or whatever it is, that you might just miss something awesome that happened. I feel like there are some streamers that just do excellent camera work of always making sure that they're going to capture whatever nonsense is about to be happening on camera. They don't miss it,
Yeah. Yeah, not me. My channel is just pretty I don't have the time to do that or the skill. But I have one more topic or one more reason why, and I'd say this is probably in my later years probably the biggest reason while I still continue to play video games and I love to play them. And it's just the simple fact that it is a way for me to decompress. And for some people, it's really stressful to play games, but even like a difficult game, like if I just have a horrible night playing games, it still helps me decompress. I know like when we had our son, Harrison, and, it was basically like the worst time of our lives, honestly, like, not sure if he was going to make it, trying to go to sleep every night, wondering, if the hospital going to call, not to get too deep into this. But some of my best memories of that time and why Fortnite will always hold a special place in my heart is that, we were staying at the Ronald McDonald House in Johnson City, not even in our home. And we weren't allowed to have TVs or anything in our rooms because they want you to go like visit your kids, if there's a reason. But I snuck in a monitor and a PS4. And
I'm going to report you to Ronald.
Please don't. But I snuck in a monitor and I hid it under the bed, and I would stay up till 1:00 in the morning just playing Fortnite with my friends in the early beginnings of Fortnite. And honestly, like those gaming times are things that really helped me get through some of the hardest times in my life. And now, as 7 years past that, I'll notice like if I go 2 or 3 days without playing games, like I feel like my stress levels are just a little bit higher and I'm just a little bit more irritable. And it's like, well, why is this happening? And it's like, well, it's because I haven't like had the games to decompress. And so I just think for me, it's like, it's a thing that helps with just like relieving stress and decompressing and just like it's an out away from things. And not that I'm trying to like escape reality per se, but it's just like, it's something that's fun to do, that I enjoy, that I love, that I can do, that is easy. I've been doing it my whole life, and it helps me just decompress to carry on with the things that life presents to you every day, good and bad. So I'd say as I've gotten older, that's probably one of the biggest reasons I keep coming back to it for sure.
I have some other nonsense to add, but I feel like we need to go out on that nice high point, touching story that you
add your nonsense. Add your nonsense. We can't be a serious show.
Oh, okay. Well, this was like in your the meme format template or however it was, where it's just like the large text and then the bottom text on the picture. If you remember the Heath Ledger Joker, where it would say like, play, or what was it? Sit around and watch Netflix all day and everybody's fine with it, but play video games for 8 hours and everybody loses their minds.
Yeah.
It's like it's different strokes for different folks. And
yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I still do plenty of sitting on my butt and just watching Netflix, but at least with a video game, I can feel like I'm accomplishing something more than just watching things on Netflix. And honestly, if I read more books, that would also feel like you're accomplishing something with a book as well too.
Yeah.
The book is always compelling you forward. Those QuickTime events to turn the page to the next one, very tricky.
Yeah, super tricky, right? Well, I guess we've come to the end of this discussion. And with that, we are transitioning to Wade's achievement of the week. So, Wade, tell us about your achievement of the week. We are dying to know.
I was telling the wife earlier that I feel like I've finally broken achievements' grip on my life, but she's not convinced that that is the case. I was like, I don't think I care that much about achievements anymore, but I'm sure that she knows me better than I know myself. She's probably right that I still do care. But
There you go.
because like I typically try and do an achievement that I've earned recently, or one of that I think about often, some kind of significance with those sorts of things. But lately, it's just been for defeating X, Y, or Z in Elden Ring, and I'm not going to try and say the name of any of those enemies because I don't want the internet to flame me. But this is a fun one. It's kind of a crossover one, and I think it's in both the original Borderlands and the re-release that they did for next-gen consoles. The achievement name is called "My Brother is an Italian Plumber," and it is earned by killing an enemy plumber style. Now, would you care to explain to me what you think that means, Meg? Achievement name: My Brother is an Italian Plumber, and it is earned by killing an enemy plumber style.
So I had a thought of like a pipe or like a plunger, but I think if I had to guess, it would be that you jump on top of the enemy and crush them.
That is correct.
Yeah, let's
just
go.
Do a little jump.
Nice. So you can do that? You can just jump on people and...
I mean, it does a very small amount of damage, so you have to get them pretty low to begin with.
Gotcha.
But, yep, you just jump up, and if you land square on them, you do like 1 tick of damage to them. And if you make sure that tick is the last tick of damage, then you get to bleep bloop and an achievement unlock.
There you go. Well, all you Borderlands people out there, now you know if you want to get the Mario achievement, basically, on Borderlands. Now you heard it here first. So, well, sweet. So, Song of the Week. We have arrived at Song of the Week. So, I feel like the Game Boy sound chip and the Game Boy artists do not get enough credit for how cool and intricate they were able to make the songs on the Game Boys in general. And so I have a Song of the Week from, well, the Pokemon series in general on the Game Boy just has a lot of really cool songs. Like I think of like in Gold and Silver, I think they really stepped it up, like the Elite Four battle, and then like versus Red and the rival battles and stuff. But we're actually going to go to the Pokemon trading card game. If you have ever played that on the Game Boy, it is a phenomenal game. It is super cool and one of my faves. And so we're going to listen to a bop from that game series. And so it is not against the one Ishirashi guy or versus Ronald, but it is against one of the final 4 people that you face. I guess it's final 4 because there's like the legendary birds and everything. And it is a cool little tune. And if you really want to get real deep and nerdy into gaming music and how the people who create songs from that era are absolute geniuses, there is a breakdown of the song that I'm going to share with you all. And they show how in the dead space of other channels, they have bleeps and bloops to help continue the melodies from other channels so that they are able to create more, like, fuller sounds and more sounds than they technically should be able to. Because they are, a lot of times in old games, they're, one channel is bass line and one channel is mids and one channel is the lead melody. But in this game, they only have 4 channels, of course. But in the dead spaces and the quiet spots of, like, the bass channel, they are putting in a note for the main melody in that channel as a boop, 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 boop. Like, it's just really cool. And so we're going to listen to that.
Limitations drive innovation.
Yes, and it's just really cool. So I'm going to share that with y'all on the way out. Thanks for watching. If you made it through all 10 of our episodes, you're a real true friend, and we appreciate you. Tell us about your favorite gaming memories, your favorite console, your first console, and why you love to play video games, viewers, in the chat below, if you don't mind. But Wade, I'm going to kick it over to you for our send-off of episode 10 here.
Yeah, sending it off. Double digits. Can't believe that we have made it so far. Hopefully, Baby Chaos does not disrupt our week-to-week schedule, and we can keep going Wednesday to Wednesday until, I mean, here's to 10 more.
We're going to just keep doing this till the wheels fall off, bro.
Till the wheels fall off.
You
Excellent. Well, with that, this has been Gamer Disclaimer with Meg and Wade. Thank you so much for checking us out, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye-bye. Peace.